We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
Hi.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about, do low offers really work?
Isn't it funny? Here we are on show. Oh my God, it's 1103. That's
Yep.
hilarious. So we're finally getting to this. No. Could you imagine? Show 1103. So I know up to 1102, we really didn't quite give you the whole secret. But here we are right now on show 1103. We're going to tell you. And we're going to talk about these low offers.
So between episode 1
Yep.
and episode 1102, this
Yep.
whole thing's just been kind of a tease.
Yep. Skipping along the top.
This is the meat of what,
Right.
the whole podcast.
And do they really work? Well, we'll talk about that.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
My watch here was just telling me that the window washer's here. It's hilarious.
Jill loves technology. This is one of the greatest things about the relationship that I have with Jill.
That's true.
She's a total tech head. So am I. Our kids all are. We spend more money and time on electronics. And we're not like the people who have to, not audiophiles, like have to have the new stuff or the most recent technology. We just love, there's a lot of technology in
Yeah.
our lives. And it all hit me like a ton of bricks like a year ago. Like
Yeah.
maybe because I was looking at our, what we spend money on in our financial statements. I'm like, wow,
There's a lot
it's
of money.
all electronics.
Well, remember when we first launched Land Academy, and we had, I don't know how many people joined. It was like overnight, 4 times what we thought was going to join. And it was like, what just happened? So the first thing we do is go buy electronics. We're like, great, now we can afford to get the computers that we need,
Yeah.
some of the equipment that we need, hey, some better monitors. It was
Some microphones.
the funniest thing that we didn't go like, isn't that true? We didn't take a cruise. We
Yeah.
did not look at our vehicles. We didn't look at our clothing, our jewelry, or anything
You're
like
really
that.
right.
Isn't that funny? We went straight to Fry's Electronics.
First thing we did was buy computers that were from this century.
Exactly.
Because
We were
buying and
limping
selling
along.
land, when you buy and sell land, you can do that on a $200 Dell computer from
Yeah.
wherever.
We were doing that. And then you don't need a fancy monitor. You don't need a fancy whatever. So we're like, finally, I can get some stuff. So, and now, honestly, I get our team. We had this happen recently, not to go off topic a little bit, but
It's too late.
I know. Our team, a lot of them are used to just working on laptops, and they've never had multiple monitors. We're like, what the heck? And they're dealing with a little monitor. I'm like, imagine how efficient you could be.
Yeah.
You could have 3 open at the same time, and you have a decent mouse and a real keyboard and really get some stuff done. They're like, oh, now they get it.
Yeah.
But for a while.
Well,
it's
once you
kinda-
get a couple monitors like that,
Yeah.
it's like, wow, man, I had no idea the world could be like this.
And I think a lot of the world is like that because that's one of the very first things that people walk up when they walk into your office or my office. They go, oh, look at all those monitors. I'm like, yeah, well, what are you using?
A really long time ago, I had a mandatory continuing education class that I had to take for the big company I was working for at the time. And they said it was all productivity. And it was right when cell phones kind of came out and all these tools are really new. And it was really a great class to go to.
Yeah.
Well, maybe for me, I just justified buying new toys to be more productive, but
Was that what the class was about?
it was about productivity at work. That was the
Okay.
class. And,
What was it
and
about?
it's what we're talking about. You need a cell phone. You need a cell phone where you can get your email. You need this stuff that's really, truly, it's not just convenience, it just makes you more productive.
Right. It's true.
What's the productivity on 2 monitors with a keyboard versus just a notebook
One monitor
computer?
and a laptop.
Yeah, or just a laptop with no keyboard.
Exactly.
Or what's the productivity on voice-activated Cortana or Siri?
What's the productivity dealing with a tablet?
Yeah.
Could you imagine how
All of that.
slow life would be if that's all you had?
So productivity really, really matters.
It does.
And what I think the whole world needs key shortcuts. That's one of the reasons I can blow through these spreadsheets really quickly and all that, because I learned, I'm dating myself, but I learned on computers before there was a mouse. So
Right.
the only way to get through it was these keyboard shortcuts. So I see a lot of really young people in our office they might as well not have a keyboard at all. They just mouse their way through everything, and it's a lot slower.
I know. I'm actually teaching right now someone on my team about Control C, Control V. She's not learning that. She mouses, she highlights it, and goes to open the thing up.
Right.
Does cut. I'm like, let me help you here.
So honestly, I wonder if we should send our crew.
We should.
To the shortcut
class.
Windows shortcuts.
Exactly.
I think what it's called.
I think, and you know what? It wouldn't be bad I'll brush up on it too.
I'll take it too.
Cool.
I'll take it with everybody.
You know what? We're going to put that on my list here. MS shortcut class. We're all doing it.
We're all doing it.
Here it comes. All right.
That was Jill's.
All the cool kids are doing it.
That was Jill's mom voice. That's it. We're all doing it. Stand up, stand in line.
That's right.
Me included.
Yep. All right. Back to the question. Okay. Colin asks, I've read various angles on this exact subject, but you guys are cranking out tens of thousands of mailers. What is the most successful approach to addressing single owners of multiple properties? So here are my thoughts. Number one, the data's not expensive. It's 10 cents a record. You have it. You did the work. I get it. But sending out at, 40, 50 cents a unit to the mail, that's going to add up. And I don't know, I don't need to get 6-10 offers. I think for what we usually do, we don't change the wording. We usually don't we send them one and just scrub out the duplicates? You look at me.
That's what we do now, yeah.
And
is that the right way? No.
And they get the point. For at least I've never had it not work. Because and how I address it is, and we share this with all I know it's on the landinvestors.com online community. On the left, there's an inbound caller checklist that I made. And on the checklist, printed out, it says, do you have anything else available that you want to sell? And so when they call in and ask about that one, if they don't prompt us, we're going to ask them.
They're a real seller, and you caught them at the right time, and they have a lot of properties. They're going to offer that up pretty quickly and respond to that one letter.
Exactly.
Is there any difference between sending one letter or 9 letters to the same owner? No, I think it costs a little bit more, but in the end, it's worth it. Because once you hit one of those multi-unit deals, if you're in this business, you know how profitable multi-unit deals are. We are deal funding a multi-unit deal that came about from one letter, right. Exactly how you're describing, and it wasn't a multi-unit mailer. It was one letter, and we're going to net 1.2 on this, all of us. So 1.2 million.
Mm-hmm. It yielded 80-something properties.
Yeah. What I used to do, and this is the right way to do it, but I didn't feel like I could justify how much time it took, is I would take all the duplicates in Excel, separate them, put them into a macro that I wrote at Microsoft Access, and generate an actual offer for all those duplicate letters that would add up what you were willing to offer. Mm-hmm. And so instead of getting an offer for, hey, John Smith, I'd love to buy your property for $1,200, it was, hey, John Smith, take a look at Addendum A. We've identified that you own all these properties, and we'd like to pay $42,000 for them.
Right.
Was that super effective? Yeah. Is it more effective than the way we do it now? Not sure, because we don't really know. But it didn't justify the amount of time that takes hours to implement. So in the end, after Jill and I spoke about this, it's a good question. This is a very, very intelligent question. We do it the way we do it now. We work it out on the other end of the phone line, and that gives Jill a chance to be Jill on the phone versus just a piece of mail. Exactly. That's really in the end why we decided to do it this way, and it's been working great.
And the right sellers usually they want to call you and have a conversation anyway. Even if they want to know who you are, what's going on, how you operate.
Most of the people I know who have a lot of rural land accumulated, they've been buying it for a while, especially if they're local. And so they're kind of in the land business, probably not full time, and they're maybe ready to get rid of it if they're calling you back. So they'll offer it up.
Exactly.
Those multi-unit deals, I can't say enough good things about them.
Oh, yeah.
Today's topic, do low offers really work? This is the meat of the show. This is a crack up topic for us.
I know.
So we just had the live event, and I stood up and I said, this is like one of the first sentences I said, is there anybody in this room who doesn't truly believe in their soul that sending blind offers to owners below the retail value of their property, regardless of type,
Right.
that it doesn't really work. And everybody laughed.
Right.
It was mission accomplished for me from a speech standpoint. And everybody said, yeah, I mean, come on. We're all at this point because we know it works and we've got personal transaction history. So yeah, it works. It's really interesting. I asked that question because when Jill and I started with Land Academy, let's say. You know, we've been buying and selling property forever, but we started Land Academy in 2015, I think. And that was our biggest challenge. Everybody thought that there was something fatally wrong, innately wrong with sending offers to owners for below the value.
I think a lot of them didn't believe it worked.
That's what I just said.
Oh, and I thought you meant like innately wrong, like philosophy wise, like this is a wrong thing to do.
Yeah. Well,
So-
I think we're saying the same thing.
So okay, yeah. No, it's so, but and it's so funny. Yeah, now we're all over it. You know, there's so many people and so much history and so much of what this is all about. This topic to me is about not only does it work, people will offer up their properties with love. They are so happy to get something for it because they thought they were going to get nothing for it. They are thrilled. I mean, and it's so, what breaks my heart lately is, and I have to put together another list again to get it out to our people, but there's deals that people just say, take it, I don't want it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, shucks, I want somebody to have that deal, but it's too small for me, obviously. But they don't even want to, they don't want to even think about it. And they literally give properties away. And those situations, especially, it's like, it takes the same amount of staff and the time to do a free property as it does a $10,000 property. So why do I want to do that? You know, kind of thing.
Every time we do these shows or these topics, these episodes, I have like 14 stories of over the years just with people who have given us property just because they don't want to deal with it anymore.
Exactly.
We've got a situation like that right now. It's the same 80 plus property deal. They're not giving it to us, but they might as well be. It's that cheap.
There's always a story.
Yeah.
There's always a story.
So, and then when we all get together for these live events, it's everybody's got, so now there's a million stories about people just giving property away because they just don't want to deal with it any longer.
Right.
Is that going to happen on your first mailer? The first person, someone's going to call you and say, yeah, I just want to give this to you for free. Absolutely not. But
You never know.
the more mail you send out, the more chances of it happening. It happens like once a year to us.
Well, that's not even the point here. I don't want you to look at it like that. You know, I want you just to kind of let everybody know that it does really work. Check. You're not a bad person. Check. You know, are you really helping people out? Yeah. Check. And if you're not, then offer more or just pass, you know, and there's nothing wrong with telling people, you know, hey, this is my best offer. This is how I am. This is how I work. I'm a wholesaler. This is my gig. It's up to them to say yes or no. It has no reflection on you at all. I think some people worry about that, and it's not at all. And if you ask, what's so funny, this is how I roll and my team kind of rolls. We usually try to figure out what the story is. Like, I know we had one the other day because we're buying it from a teachers association, and the whole story behind it is donated property, they sell, and the money goes to help teachers with scholarships, to improve their degrees, maybe to get a master's degree so they make more money, things like that. It's for teacher scholarships. So it's all really good. And they're not going to sit there and go, oh no, I only need $8,000. I'm not taking $3,000 or whatever it is. They're not going to do that, and they know they're happy with it.
It's a win-win for everybody.
It really is.
When a church calls us back on a mailer, I get excited because I know the deal's going to happen. I know there's a kind of a meeting process that they have to go through, like the board has to meet, but they end up being very, very happy with this, getting a few $1,000s. We end up getting usually a really good piece of property. So nonprofits, don't scrub nonprofits out of your list is my point.
It's interesting too, because they are the ones that absolutely do not know what to do with the property.
Yeah.
If you weren't making them an offer, it would sit there forever. They don't know what to do, and they don't know how to sell it. It's not higher on their list. So, and for you to call them and not only offer to buy the property, but you're going to do the whole transaction, 100%. It's like, this is the greatest thing ever. I don't have to do anything. Yep, just sit tight. Notary's coming on Tuesday.
Right.
All with a check. No brainer. No brainer. And that's part of the whole thing too, is that, you know, you have to remember when you're talking to these sellers, explain, the deal. Like that offer to you might seem low, but I want you to think about this. There's no commissions coming out of it that you're going to pay. We're not splitting the escrow fees or recording fees or anything like that. I'm going to pay. You have to worry about a notary, all that stuff. I'm going to pay. So that amount, sometimes they look at it and I think when people call in, they're like, oh, they think that it's going to be less, but it's not. Just explain that. That's net to you. I'm paying for all this stuff, and that's partially why it's priced this way. And then the seller will go, oh, now I see. And then you mean they'll really meet me at Denny's where I always have coffee on Monday with the guys? Yep. They will come to Denny's where you'll have coffee with the guys. Done.
So do low offers really work? That's great, Steve. Why do I hear this stuff about people having a failed mailer? Or if it works so well, then why is it only every 1,000 or 1,200 units you send out, you get a deal? Well, that's a very good question. It all comes back to two things. Pricing offers correctly. I can't emphasize that enough. This is the number one question we get. Yeah. The number one question we get is, does this work? No. The number one question is, am I pricing this right?
Correct.
And then the second thing that I see where mailers don't work as well as they should, they all work. They just, some of them the yield is different, is really poorly choosing property owners to send offers to. Here's a widely exaggerated example. If you sent an offer to every office building owner in Manhattan in New York for $500 to buy their building, that's a waste of time. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of their time. It's just a waste. You're wasting money on mail and all of it. So that's a very extreme example, but I can tell you from experience, and I pick on Michigan sometimes because that's where I'm from. If you send every property owner an offer in the northern part of Michigan for $100 or $200 an acre, you're going to get screamed at for a month. And I just know because the pricing's so wrong. And I know from experience that for whatever reason, property in northern Michigan, not up the UP, but the northern part of the Lower Peninsula, it just doesn't trade that much. People just tend to keep property there. That's great, Steve. How do I know that? Well, number one, I have like 25 years of experience doing this. And number two, there's ways through the equity planner in our program that you can smoke the days on market and smoke this stuff all out to find out statistically where property is very cycles through quickly. Yeah. So there's answers to all this, very technical answers to all this, and it really does work. Mm-hmm. You just have to be real smart about it.
I have nothing to add.
Join us next time for the episode called Why Passive Income is Not Passive Income at All.
And we answer your questions posted on our online community found at landinvestors.com. It is free.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
The Land Academy Daily Show remains commercial free for you, our loyal listener. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, please subscribe and rate us there.
We are Steve and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.